So, I think in order for people to understand a little bit more about why I chose this topic and my intended purpose for this research, I think it's important that you know about my little brother Eli. So, my little brother Eli has Down syndrome, and we found that at birth. And Down syndrome is basically a condition where there is an extra chromosome. Um, so that results in slower development and cognitive ability. So you might be asking yourself, how does this have anything to do with my research? When a lot of my research was centered around him and his personal experience at schools and in his education throughout his life. Um, so a little bit of background about him and his growing up. Eli has had multiple heart surgeries and has been hospitalized countless times for illnesses that many times spiral out of control. Everything we do, Eli does too. So he has a few, but the only thing is he has a few more obstacles to face than we do. So he's a little bit slower in learning. He took a little bit longer to walk. He took a little bit longer to talk, but he can still do it. So Eli went to Penn Harris Madison School Corporation before he went to my previous grade school, Queen of Peace Catholic School. So the public preschool at Penn Harris Madison that he went to had a program to fit his needs. So that is where my mother decided to send him. It was fine for a while until he had an extreme behavior change, and his temperament also changed, and it was weird because one of his aides was actually acting really strange, and his aide lied countless times and failed to report the many injuries that Eli received while at the school. Now, we don't know for certain what happened to Eli, but we do know for sure that something very bad occurred to him after his behavior changed. So at this point, my mother felt really hopeless because no one wanted Eli anywhere, not even at school. And so he was really just failing to learn vital education for his mental growth, and he was sent home every single day for his quote unquote bad behavior. So Eli can't help us at all. He doesn't know him. I feel like my mother felt responsible, and I feel like our family felt responsible for his actions. And this school almost made us feel like it was his fault and my mom's fault for taking him to school. So I just really remember seeing the hurt in my mother's eyes as she gets a phone call every single day saying that her son is being a bad boy and that he can not be in a school like this anymore because he just hurt people and he caused people hurt, he caused people too much work. So I feel like the issue is that many children lack the understanding to comprehend someone like Eli when he's in the classroom. But this is where I'm getting into my purpose, is that I want this to change. I think I want children to know that they can feel safe and comfortable around any disability inside and outside of the classroom. But I think this is important because this is why we need teachers to be educated, so then they can, in return, teach their students about the kids in the classroom with special needs. So I think that more programs should be put in schools in order for then children to be mainstreamed in the classroom. Not only is this good for the emotional and mental growth of the child with special needs, but for the child without as well.
You know, I work as part of the Alliance for Catholic Education at the University of Notre Dame. And for as long as I've known the program, it has had a dedication to serving students with special needs and doing so by better educating the teachers who will work with those students in schools and by developing leaders, the future assistant principals and principals, so that they can put together schools that will serve diverse learners and children with special needs. So when you consider the question of, do teachers have the right amount of training in order to serve children with special needs, I think the answer is you get a very basic level as you study to become a teacher, but it takes additional specialization, and more so, it takes a lot of experience in the classroom. Working hard through trial and error to try to reach all students. I think that this is a place that Catholic education is especially well equipped to serve. And by that I mean some of our core beliefs in the dignity of the human person, that every child is made in the image and likeness of God. What that translates to is that teachers and principals have to be prepared to serve those children in our Catholic schools. So I can't speak for schools across the country. I know a lot of gains have been made in terms of serving children with special needs, but there's no question that our program here at Notre Dame knows it's important and is dedicated to training principals to lead those schools. I think they're the schools of the future, schools where all children are welcome. So on a daily basis, I'm working with teachers across the country, principals across the country, to find out how to welcome families that have children with special needs, how to embrace them and help them reach their God-given potential. There's a lot of work to be done, but I'm proud of the work that's been undertaken so far, and I look forward to working with Catholic educators across the country to improve our service for children with special needs.
My name is Tina Dover. I am currently a kindergarten teacher at Emmons Elementary in Mishawaka. I was the principal at Queen of Peace Catholic School for 5 years, where I had the Majeski family. All of their children had been through Catholic schools, and it was time for Eli to come to school. And something I was very passionate about is having all of children of Catholic families. They all deserve a Catholic education from preschool through kindergarten. So that's something that I really worked on to happen at Queen of Peace. Angie had talked to me about Eli having issues in the public school and being mistreated and not getting the education that he really needed. So we worked for a year and a half to meet with actually School City of Mishawaka to get a partnership with them for some aides to come to Queen of Peace. And we were very thankful that School City of Mishawaka was able to do that for us. So we had to meet a few times, get the superintendent on board so we could be a kind of like a pilot for special needs. And then it was nice that we had the school choice vouchers that students were able to use. Not only did it benefit public education students, but it really benefited the families that had, like the Majeskis, who had all their other children going to a Catholic school. So it was nice to have Eli come to Queen of Peace, and he started in kindergarten, and the program was not perfect the first year, but as it progressed, and it got so much better. He's in 3rd grade, doing beautifully, and I'm so proud to say that is something that we started at Queen of Peace for families.
And I think they did more research on what to do with him, like in situations if something was bothering him, different ways what we should do and not do. And I think it's been easier too because Eli can communicate a lot more, and he can tell people what's bothering him if he has a problem. But and of course, he really likes where he's at, and because church is very, very important for him. He's that's like his highlight. There's days he wants to go to mass instead of one of his other classes, and so he just, to him that's important, and that's important to me. That could be in you know, that's part of his life, and it's real. And to me, it's real important. I mean, he got to do what all his siblings got to do, and that's why I wanted everybody. I wanted everybody to go to Catholic school, and I just felt like he was getting cheated since he couldn't go because he was different. And I feel like, you know, especially private in Catholic school, you know, we're told to be, you know, treat everybody equal, and so it's good to see that they've been letting people like Eli go to school like that, because he's just as important as everybody else. And I mean, he's capable of learning like everybody else, and he's getting to hear about God, which is real important.
So, after all these interviews and all the research I did, I really hope that I can see an eventual change in programs within the classroom, and I hope to see more kids with special needs like Eli mainstream, not only in public schools, but more importantly in Catholic schools, because a lot of the times that's not as common to see. And I think it can be done. It just takes a little bit more time. And I really hope to see this within the upcoming years, because I really want everyone to have an education like Eli does. And I think he's blessed to have something like that. And it's something important for not only my family, but everyone else to hold on to. I mean, Eli is so well loved. And I feel in my heart that all children should be loved like this and should be included in the classroom, no matter what disability or ailment they possess. And yeah, I just hope that more people understand this. Thank you.